Hello, and welcome to Highlightit dashboard. This is the interface that you'll get met with on launch. So if you click on choose CSV and navigate to a CSV file, this CSV file should have a structure where you've got your match ID in here, so that might be just the match, whatever you called it. You've got the fields by which you want to act as filters. The first numerical column will be the score difference if you're looking to correlate that against other things. So this is the key metric that you'll want to put in, and then the other metrics can be put in there. So this is the sort of structure, and I've just put some examples where there's missing data for an example. So navigate to it, and then if you want to put a logo in, you can navigate and put in a logo that could be a club or team logo, and then load that CSV up. Then you can select the fields that you wanted to use as filters. This has automatically chosen column 1 as the match, and it's chosen the first column with the numerical column to be the score difference. So you could have changed that if you wanted that one to be the thing that you were correlating everything against. So choose the variables you want. On this occasion, I'm just going to knock off these ones at the bottom. I'll show you those ones later. And if a lower is better, so less errors, that low is good, you can just flip the Z score calculations around. And once you've finished that, you get your kind of initial match dashboard, which we can explain a little bit through as a quick fire part. You can change the various matches that you want. You can change the cutoff, so the grey area at the moment is at the 50% threshold, so it's only revealing scores that are 25 in the top or bottom 25%. We could change the order, and we could change the thresholds, so that is the top 10% and bottom 10%. So if we change matches, then we're seeing matches that meet those credentials. We can add the scatter overlay on it. We can show the raw values into the mix. We can apply some filters, so home matches lost would only show you those in your filter, which will come into play a bit later on in the passage. We can click on the scatter plot to change to various games as well, and we're basically getting how many of these were red, so 5, how many were the green, 1, so our net score was -4. And here's the keys to the match. One good thing and a few of the highlighted moments where you're getting the 3 things that were the low scoring parts, and you double click and you can zoom back out. So that kind of gives an overview of this part. If I go into the correlation element, I can toggle the R value, and we can see how we're getting positive. If we click on the different KPIs, you're getting positive, no correlation, negative correlations across the board. You can apply that to a filter. So if you only wanted winning games, you could apply that just to the filtered games, and you'd get your whole correlation would change again. So all matches or the correlated values. That just changes the scale. You can exclude the selected match. So if you've got a match that was potentially a bit of an outlier, you could take that out of the mix. And you can show the absolute values of the R rather than just the magnitude of them. It gives you a red for direction if they're minus values. So a little bit of an overview there. On any of these graphs, you can zoom and double click on them to dig in a little bit deeper, and hover over for any tooltips. The scatter plot, choose the 2 variables. You can switch them around if you want to. You can color by one of the filters that you've put on, so winning and losing, and you can size by another variable if you wanted to. You can add or remove the overlay, and you can put a trend line on, just to give you a little bit of a screen view of changing and toggling various KPIs against each other, just to see what happens. In the differences, at the moment we've got it set up for independent groups, so that could be home and away, it could be winning and losing that you're putting in there, and we can sort these tables out into various orders, and we can export the CSV file out if we want to. The trends part, we can just go all or filtered match. We can select a range of matches, so we can just drag our sliders. We can show our cumulative mean. This is the slope cutoff of the cumulative mean. So when we start to drag that, it starts to amend parts. So we should see how some of these look like they're improving over time. We've put the confidence interval if you want it. And here you can set your rolling means to be whatever values you want. And what we're looking at is how this changes with the rolling means over the last 11 and 18 matches. And the crossovers become kind of interesting parts where momentum might be changing in the over matches, where there might be a pattern or a trend or a change or a reverse in the pattern when they start to cross over from other principles. So enough to have a little play with within here. If I go back and load the new CV back in, so I'm just going to come back in and load the same one in, but this time I'm going to, when I choose the variables, I'm going to grab the winning and losing data against each other, because if I go into the differences and go into our related, we can see how it's auto-detected those pairs, that it's looked for similar file names and looked for the different endings. So this one's just got winning and losing at the end, and it's automatically detected the data that we would have wanted, and we can export out the CSV file again in the same way. So depending on what you want, there's enough to kind of have a little play with to see whether it's any use to you in the field. So have fun exploring the product.